Hey all you nerds, Gabe aka Froopy Art here, and welcome back to our Gravity Falls encrypted-inspired Pokemon region. In the previous episode, you met Mechadron, whose jumbled mind seems to hold some answers, so you've decided to take him to the local museum to try and jog his memory. You arrive at the museum, which appears to be closed, but you are greeted by some familiar faces standing outside. Maple seems to be trying to peek through the museum windows with her friends Sandy and Frenda.
Oh my gosh, shut your butt! What are you guys doing here?
Oh, we found this old hillbilly, and he's got, answers about these mysterious journal books up in his brain, so we're trying to coax it out by coming to where he wrote stuff. What are you guys doing here?
There's been word that some of the Cypher Squad goons were hanging out in the museum, so we thought we would investigate.
Maple, what did I tell you about going after trouble like this?
Don't go alone? And look, I've already got backup.
Yes, we are the backup. Tough stuff here.
Yeah, this backup's got your back for sure, Maple.
That's double backup. And now you guys show up, I've got quadruple double backup.
All right, fine. Well, let's see what we can find here.
But how do we do that when the museum is closed?
Well, I'll start by saying that what I am about to do is not a crime, all right? Locking away all that museum-y knowledge behind closed doors, isn't that the real crime? You watch as the professor expertly picks the lock on the front door, and he ushers everyone inside. You are left to explore the museum, which initially appears to be abandoned, but it isn't long before you discover that it is crawling with wild Pokémon, some of which you have seen before, like Flungunk, Hoaxian Trubbish, and Phasmagore, but there's also a new addition. Let's check it out. Okay, we're gonna start this two-stage line with a little demon. Now, it's debatable if you want to lump demons and devils and whatnot in with cryptids, but from my perspective, they fall into that, folklore camp. So we're adding them in here. Plus, this will eventually gain aspects from the Hodag cryptid when it evolves, so this is a good starting point. And I want another Pokemon that can fit on any Cypher Squad Grunts teams, so we're definitely aiming for a little devil henchman look. Think of Pain and Panic from the Disney Hercules movie. If you've seen that, it's a good one. Beyond that, the only thing that I wanted was a functional forked tail, which will make more sense when we get to the Dex entry. All right, let's say hello to Torshed, the roasting Pokemon. This eager little reptile loves sticking berries on its forked tail and then roasting them with its fire breath. Torshed are very particular about what they eat and will spend most of a day perfectly preparing its meals. While some find it a bit scary looking at first, by sharing their food, they quickly win over people and Pokemon alike. Its ability is Flash Fire, so instead of taking damage from Fire-type moves, it has its own Fire-type attacks boosted by 50%, with the hidden ability being Blaze. These little goobers are pretty friendly, so likely wouldn't be too difficult to catch if you needed a Fire-type. After battling through the halls, it seems that one of Maple's Pokemon, little Kleptinest, is finally ready to evolve. Okay, so reminder, this line is based on birds that collect shiny objects, so Kleptinest was a blue jay, and this second stage is based off of a bowerbird, which collects colorful shinies to decorate its nest. We're actually going to pull the look of the nest and work it into the design itself, it's carrying its nest around with it wherever it goes. That's fun. Now, these colors are nice and metallic, with the shiny, again, being a reference to the final evolution and the Alicanto bird. But for now, let's learn all about Kleptinest, the collector Pokemon. Unfortunately, this bird has both ingested so much metal and woven other pieces into its feathers that it is no longer able to fly. While it may be heavy, Kleptinest are surprisingly fast as they flee to protect their shiny hoard. Their feathers now shimmer with the metal that they have developed an appetite for. The ability is Pick Up, so that lets it pick up objects when moving around and also catch things that are thrown at it with Fling. And the hidden ability is Frisk. I mean, it's got to steal all that stuff. This is also really fun that we had a mono flying type, and instead of just adding steel, it is changing to the steel type. Yeah, that's fun. Maple is so excited to have her little metallic bird, which skitters off looking for shiny things, and she, chases after it. You also feel as if there's another Pokemon out there. It feels like you're being watched, but you don't see anything. You go searching, and when you turn a corner, you bump straight into Glee, nearly knocking them off their feet. They seem to be hiding something behind their back, but it's tough to see what it is.
Watch where you're going. You! What are you doing in here? The museum is closed right now, and don't you even ask me what I'm doing here. I, have special permissions. Now, if you know what is good for you, you'll scram right now.
Stubborn and silent as ever, you stand your ground and crane your neck to see what Glee is holding behind them.
Fine. Whatever, you got lucky last time. Now you're going to pay.
With one free hand, Glee lets loose a Pokemon at you. Alright, I've been waiting a long time to finally introduce our Hide Behind. If you're not familiar with this cryptid, which only makes a brief appearance in a Gravity Falls short, it is a creature that stalks you in the woods, but it is always able to remain hidden behind the trees. It's another one of those, nobody knows exactly what it looks like types of monsters. But I've always loved the depictions where it is made up of almost gnarled branches. I mean, it's hiding in the trees, so it needs to blend in. Now, this won't be a grass type. It'll just kind of look that way, almost like Sudowoodo. Now, this was a very fun design to work on. We've got this weird pose that shows how it is able to squish and bend its body to hide behind stuff. And it makes it, nice and creepy. And then I've got this fun kind of subtle woodworks and the burls in the wood. Yeah, I like it. All right, let's go ahead and meet Detroak, the unseen Pokemon. This dark type's twisted limbs are perfectly camouflaged among the dense Hoaxian forests. Detroak are so good at contorting their bodies and hiding behind even the thinnest of objects that they often leave the woods and prowl urban environments. Catching a glimpse of one in the wild is rare, and it must trust its trainer fully to reveal itself in broad daylight. The ability is something new, we're calling Out of Sight, so that means if it is ever behind a substitute, so if it uses the move Substitute, it will gain 1/16 of its HP each turn. And then the hidden ability is Runaway. I think that makes sense. You suspect that this is the Pokemon that was watching you in the halls, and after this is done, you may need to try your hand at actually tracking one down for yourself. But for now, Glee sends out a Stuckabout. It isn't too tough, and Glee sends out another Pokemon, the evolution to Little Creamcap. Alrighty, so we are going from the Black-Eyed Children to the Flatwoods Monster. This is classic sci-fi here. We want it silly and ridiculous looking, while still, capturing the Flatwood Monster's iconic silhouette. That big hood is just kind of funny. So we're gonna run with it, and now it's gonna be almost kind of like a satellite dish or like a chunk of spacecraft. Now, rendering the metal is always a bit of a challenge, but I'm pretty happy with where we wound up. I want it to look metallic, but not too shiny. When we get to the final stage for this line, that's where I want it to look, like super slick. For now, let's go ahead and meet Smeltip, the Space Core Pokemon. By scouring its surroundings, this resourceful Psychic type is able to fashion protection from garbage and sheets of metal. The metal dish around Smeltip's central core now helps focus its psychic abilities. The fabric skirt beneath its core appears to be just a fashion choice. It is fascinated by much of the world around it, causing its unblinking eyes to levitate out of its head. The ability is then Levitate, so that means it's immune to ground-based moves, and the hidden ability is Opportunist. It roughs up some of your team, but you manage to take it down. Glee is nearly out of breath from the battle alone, but clasps their necklace and merges with their trusty foe line. Luckily, you already know how to deal with this beast merge form. Glee is really gonna have to step up their game, and you take them down. Glee violently separates and flies across the room. When they land, you can finally see what was being hidden before. A book. A journal, really. Very similar to your own. And Glee scrambles to the book, scoops it up, and flees down a hallway. But as they do, you see that a partial page has fallen out. You lift it up and examine it. Much of the details are missing, but it appears to be some kind of collar, and it shows the required components to build it. You backtrack to the lobby and hand the page over to the professor. What? What did you find? What is this supposed to be?
Whoa, what is this? A control device?
That's it! From the third journal. Those early experiments creating that device, that's, I think, what scrambled up my brain.
You designed this?
I think we did, Wilfred and myself. And I think we shouldn't have tested it on me.
I would have remembered frying your brain with some device like this. I didn't make this, buddy.
Maybe you didn't. I just can't remember anything these days. But I do know, it seems like Glee had this page, and has the rest of my book what it came from. Who knows what terrible plans are in the works already?
Well, Glee and terrible are pretty synonymous.
Just then, Maple and Grinda come barreling down a hallway.
There you guys are. Have any of you seen Sandy?
We lost sight of her as we were exploring, and now we can't find her anywhere. You lost your backup. Oh, we need to find her. I don't like how all these people keep going missing when the Cypher Squad is around. Maple, Brenda, do another loop of the museum. Moose, stay here with Macadron in case she comes back, and Kid, you come with me. Let's go look outside.
You follow the professor outside, and as you check around the building, you spot a group of people. It seems that Cordelia is trying to wrench Sandy away from Glee and a group of hooded Cypher Squad members. As you approach, Cordelia is pushed to the ground. Glee sees you, squeals, and starts to book it towards their tent in the distance, while Sandy and the others disappear through the fog to the south.
Okay, I'm going after that brat, Glee. You go get Cordelia and follow Sandy. Maple's counting on you to get Sandy back.
You help Cordelia to her feet and start south after your kidnapped friend. But we'll pick up from there in the next episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are enjoying this series. There is a new puzzle added to the Discord server, so check out the video description for details on how to join all of the journal deciphering fun that we're having there. A huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, and the biggest shoutouts to Angel and Cyberlord. What a couple of cool kids. I'm very thankful for y'all. All right, I will catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.